and others, all of we independent Black media people, the new voices of Black media, the voices that they can't stand. It's us, y'all. It's all about us, nothing but us, right? Isn't that great? Isn't that great? It's us. Nothing they can do with us, y'all. Nothing they can do with us. Y'all understand me? Nothing they can do with us. All right. Who you gonna call? And if this is raw, so what? I mean, it's been raw. It's a raw electoral year. Our president is Donald Trump. He definitely doesn't give a damn. So why should we? So let's do this again. Started from the top. Hello. Good evening. I'm Dr. Randy Short. This is Coonbusters. This represents my views and the silent thinking Black majority. That's not inclusive of dumb coontards. You're a retarded, self-hating Black person, pork chop feminist, uh, a toxic masculinity pimp, no good Black male. You guys don't count. You never have. It's only the people like us that do. What we're doing is speaking from an informed, educated, non emotional Black perspective that is strategic. And it really doesn't give a damn about ill informed Black people or emotional Black people. You're going to need us to help your ass anyway, or we'll bury you. It's approximately 6:09 p.m., November 3rd, 2020. It's election night. And just maybe, if the really decent white folks and others vote the way that they're supposed to, which means they're not going to go for the liberal BS. They don't want the Gay Equality Act to be passed because they don't think that nailing a little kid in the booty is social progress. A lot of folks do, they won't admit it, but we don't. I hope that the people are turning out. I believe that all of these polls have been lies. It, it is my hope that Donald Trump gets 305 to 320, maybe what, at least 300 electoral college votes so we can put this thing to rest, put it to bed. Look, Biden looks sick and tired. He's nasty. His family's depraved. He's corrupt. We already knew this. And we don't want this little swindle Hindu freak, Kamala Harris, to be our president. So I'm hoping that if you didn't vote, God bless you for not voting. If you voted for Trump, God bless you for voting for Trump. They don't want us to do it. Look at how the entire media is worried about, for the first time in my life, Black voters, they can't even admit how essential we are. And they're hoping for us to vote for our own demise. Typically we do, but thank you, all of you Black males who aren't listening to Pork Chop Feminism or CNN with Don, Effeminate Women, or others. You're voting for Trump, whether they're racist or not. The whole system is racist and unfair. It's rigged. The president told you this. Malcolm X told you this. So, tonight is a great night. It's a great night. In fact, it may not end today. The good thing is this may drag for days, but I hope it drags long enough. I hope this drags long enough for the information on Hunter Biden to come out. And I hope it drags long enough for the information on Naomi Biden, the victim of her dad, to come out. And for the daughter of Joe Biden Jr., who's molested by Hunter Biden, to come out. And for the lynchings of Blacks in Delaware and the extrajudicial murders of Blacks in Delaware and police slayings of Blacks in Delaware and the horrible condition in which Blacks live in Delaware is exposed. And that the truth about Kamala's crimes against Black people in California is exposed as this election drags. Are y'all understanding me? So my God, I'm getting an update. Did they take my flash off? I can't believe that. Okay, wait a second. I was on. Okay. I don't know what happened. You know, tonight's an election night. I want to remind everybody, if you've been out here doing any kind of activism, any kind of social media, any kind of thing where you're trying to educate or inform the public, your phones get messed with, everything gets messed with. And that happens to me. So if you've called me, you try to reach me, whatever, and you don't catch me, hey, anything could be going on. I don't know. I don't claim to run things. I don't claim to be free. I claim to want to be free. It's a difference. So here we are. Again, now it's 6:13. We're going to be just sitting here listening. Feel free to chime in, reach out to me. I might stop and look and see what's going on, but I want y'all to know it's been 4 years of intense manipulation. These people want Biden to get in and continue to do to black people what Obama and Biden did, which was to put the illegals and the gays and everybody else ahead of black folks, use us, this intersectionality, and people of color mumbo jumbo BS. And at the end of the day, we have nothing everybody has but us. And this effort to use black women as the fifth columnist, right? This is outrageous. So come on in the room. I am not a celebrity, but I am funny. I'm not a celebrity, but I'm well informed. I'm not trying to be famous, but some people know me. It is as what it is, but need to be thinking. So come on, black men out there in particular. I want to hear from brothers tonight, men that want to fight to retake our community from the liberals and the awful people. Come on, y'all. Uh, Come in. Let's talk. What's going on where you are? How do you feel? Yes, I prefer Trump to Biden. I don't care who knows. In fact, this is my Biden outfit. Y'all all, I mean, he sent so many niggas to jail. We all should be wearing black and white stripes. Uh, so one out of two black men go to jail. I had me and my brother. He went to jail for maybe just a day, but he went. That's what Biden's done to us. Hey, Selmo, how you doing? How you doing, Selmo? Can you hear me? Let's see. Uh, Chat. Hey, Selmo, can you hear me? Hello? Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can make this happen. I'm learning to play with these devices. Make host. Ask to start video. See if that'll work. Come on, y'all, talk to me. Nobody raise hands. Done. Okay, something's wrong here. Is there anybody in here? Maurice, I don't know why you can't hear it. That's there. Uh, my video's on with the participants. Okay, Selmo. Spotlight video. Hey, David, how are you?
So, how you doing? Great, man. What's up with you, man?
Oh, my brother, this is a give the Boule and Biden the finger tonight.
Man.
Okay, I'm telling you. So I just love it. Look, black men can't lose tonight.
Oh,
If
Trump is going to win this
if
one.
Trump wins, it's going to completely destroy the feminists. I mean, this is so wonderful to see them punished. All these years of no accountability and the double standard that women are never honest about, just being plowed over by a stupid, should I say, toxic testosterone steamroller. Hell, something had to stop it. We can't lose. This is so wonderful. Oh, Kamala, you know her name isn't Kamala. You're from the Caribbean. Her name sounds like someone bust a nut. Kamala. You know, it's just true. I mean, so she's look. She went to Howard with us, and you know the little nasty half-breed Jamaicans, and it's
Yep.
different. You meet some Douglas from your Trinidad, and they could be down to earth. They're tired of being rejected by everybody. I mean,
Yep.
this. I mean, you meet a Douglas halfway nice, they'll rape you. Just
Oh fuck yeah.
they want to be black. Because they can't be Indian. But in Jamaica, they're nasty.
My
They are
God.
really nasty. I had a very nasty Jamaican who I know knew Kamala, who was my advisor at Howard. They caused me to graduate from school a year late. A year
What
about.
color was that?
Her name is Mrs. Howard. No, not Mrs. Howard. Her name will come to me. Mrs. Bryant. Mrs. Bryant, very nasty Jamaican. Her husband, I think, was a Jamaican ambassador to the U.S. That type of nasty brown mulatto Jamaican. No, I don't like them. They're not nice people. And in fact, even the dark-skinned Jamaican elites are nasty too. They're just nasty, raunchy. I'm sorry.
It
I
is what
like
it is, man.
I like Trump. If I travel to any country in the world where there are black people, I try to function as a brother or sister, or I stay to myself if I can't like people. I would never dream of going to anyone else's country and dog them. Let me just give you a foreign black experience. I'm not going to say the name, but I had the opportunity to talk to people in the White House about black issues. And I was told bring as many people as I could on different issues and they'd see what they could do. And as much as I have a soft spot for certain places in the diaspora, I made a request where people are being killed or the issues of, and not that I'm a rich lobbyist or anyone, but just if I could, I would have done it. And I reached out to this person and said, hey, look, there's somebody that's close to the vice president, some other people that may be able to make a change or do something to help in your country. And I understood the little nastiness I would get. So I prefaced it by saying, well, in as much as I know that you would never do this for me or my people, as that's the way you foreign blacks are, I'm still going to do for you what you would never do for me. And that means I've made an effort to do something to help another community of blacks when my own community is in trouble. And so if you're interested, a yes is an acceptable answer. If you want me to go to hell and no is the answer, no is acceptable. No means no, yes means yes. I said, so what do you have in mind? I says, well, I want you to tell me some points of what you think could happen that the U.S. could knock off of that would make life a little easier for your country. And they gave me just a whole lot of negative stuff. And let me just tell you, it was just a lot of mouth that I was getting. It's female, by the way, too. So I'm thinking they wouldn't dare talk to a man from their country like how they're talking to me. This is something else I don't like. Folks get all saucy when they get to the U.S. Where they come from, folk get beat down. I'm completely opposed to folk being treated like that. But why come here and passively fuck over me in a way that you don't deal with men in your own culture where you come from? I hate it. I ain't taking it no more. So I decided to act like I was from the islands and how I dealt with them. And so I said, so it's obvious I can't do anything to help you. You're more interested in scratching my eyes out than getting help for your community, which is an okay response because it's what you wish to do. And she says, well, what's in it? I says, how can I, as an outsider begging, tell you what you'll get? I'm only trying to get you to a door where you might be able to ask. And so she says, well, what did you get for Black Americans? Did you hear that, David?
Yeah.
You mean she wants to know what Blacks in America are going to get? And I said, that's none of your business. None of your business. So
It sounds a little bit like the ADOS crowd.
No, it's not. It's no, they're not ADOS. This is a foreign black person. It's not ADOS.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This is what the ADOS people complain about. I
right, that's
reach
right.
out. I reach out to
Okay.
do something. I'm not asking for money or sex. I ain't looking down on you. Out of compassion for your condition,
Right,
and what you
right.
want to do is piss in my face because I'm from the United States. And so you're going to compete with what I was able to get for my own instead of get for your own. And I says, obviously, you're distracted by what I'm trying to do for my own people, too distracted and too competitive to even think about what might happen for your own people. Let me end this call. And I told someone I'm not speaking to them until the election is over. Should Trump win, this same foreign black person's going to bug me for what I could do for them. I won't have this conversation with them. I won't. I've had to tell certain Africans and other people, hook them up. I've learned, well, shit, I guess your ass will die. Right? I help hook up something. These people have a high powered meeting. They want white people who didn't help them, and the black person from America that helped them, they don't want there. So they use us to get to the white people and then throw us under the bus. Cool. I don't do that anymore. So it's not that I don't have.
Nobody know, Randy, that the foreign black community really doesn't give a shit about.
It's 6:30.
Americans, and we should kind of know that by now.
Yeah, we do know it.
Waste my time
I know that was. I had someone on the call. I wanted them to hear how I was spoken to by someone who actually needs something. And it says, I just want you to see that when I reach out to them as a brother, I'm dealt with in an adversarial way without a cause. So it says, you know what? Let me fix this. Let me make one last effort to humor myself. I knew how they're going to behave. And let me not do a damn thing. Let them insult me, but with a witness. So I have a clear conscience. If you have an earthquake or another flood, hey, what can I do? I tried. I've tried times before. I don't see folks trying to help us. So basically, let me focus my attention locally. I will always have friends all over the world that I care about, that I think highly of. If I can partner with them, wonderful. I don't hate the community, but I'm not going to get shitted on. And I tell you something. I know someone, before they got to America, you heard from them. Once they get to America, they don't speak to you. Had the nerve to reach out with a complaint that I support Trump. Well, then we don't ever have to talk again. Okay. Bye. See you. I mean, and enjoy. I mean, I ain't mad. It's not like, I went to school with really stupid people who hated folks from Africa or whatever, or they didn't respect them. That's not my problem. But just dealing with Howard, David, a lot of people, I am a reciprocal Pan-Africanist, not an unrequited Pan-Africanist. Speaking of that, Brother David, did you know that the United States government, or should I say Harvard and some other people, are going to get control of Du Bois's center? The Africans have stolen the money collected over the last 50 some odd years. And now it looks like they're going to get a memorandum of understanding. Harvard's going to get Du Bois's body, or they're going to get control of it. And they're probably going to bring his body back to America against his wishes. But the deal was made. The Ghanaian government was willing to do it. This is Africans. No, I'm not. Let me see. Please send me an email, David, today so I can send you the article. But they're going to get Du Bois's center. And the people have gone, tried to volunteer, and the Africans don't give a damn. They don't want this stuff. They didn't want to do the slave castles until they saw the money coming in. Right? They used to have nothing for Marcus Garvey in Jamaica, but it's other people coming to Jamaica to see that made the government take Marcus Garvey seriously. Let me tell you something. There was nothing for Marcus Garvey, not really, nothing significant for Marcus Garvey prior to 1975. Marcus Garvey died like 1941, 1942, between 40 and 42. I forget which year, but he was dead before 1943. I can assure you that. So I'm thinking I'm certain he died either 41, 42, 40, 41, or 42, but he didn't live to 43. Which means that decades after Garvey was dead, the most famous and important Jamaican that ever lived, didn't have any significant memorials in Jamaica until the late 70s. Okay. Now, as sorry as Black Americans are, they had something for Dr. King within years of his ass getting shot down. I'm not saying that they paid for it. They may have begged white people and Jews and scraped, but they didn't forget. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything that deals with true Black liberation anywhere in the world is not valued by the Black community where it's from. Okay, anyway, I'm going to be back in DC. We were supposed to do some filming in your place, and then I know stuff happened, it changed, then it just poof.
Yeah. I mean, we got around to it.
You have what?
I said we will get around to it.
Yeah, so I have some things, and
what's up, y'all?
Who's up and who's speaking?
It's Maurice.
Hey, white woman to you, my brother. David's familiar with that. That's basically a way of resisting White House. Sorry, hold 1 second, y'all. McKinley, I'm on my call. Okay, I'm on.
Do you know that nigga didn't get nothing? The guy that ran against Lindsey Graham, he got 2,900 votes.
Yeah, that's all sissy money. Hey, Paul, do you have Zoom on your phone? Because I'm doing a Zoom thing right now.
Every time I be trying to put it on there.
You need to get Mark to help you have your social media go up. So I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook Live, on StreamYard, and Zoom. So I need to turn you off. Then you gotta I'll holler back. Bye. Hello. Yeah, no. People are calling because that was from Chicago. Look, let's have some fun. Hey, how you doing? Sean Stanley Brown. I'm here. Did y'all see that dude, the one that looks like Mahalia Jackson? What's his name? Jaime Harrison. He looks like Mahalia Jackson and chemo. He can't get any votes because everybody thinks Mahalia Jackson's dead, nigga. How do you think you're gonna run against a patrician white man looking like a dead gospel singer and that's female and you're male? This was never gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. Look, I don't even say that Lindsey Graham's ass has to stay. But I have to say this about Lindsey Graham. I mean, Mr. David Harris is on the line. He and I went to Howard, or what we call Howard, or How Weird, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to say to y'all, and I mean this, that when Howard University was punishing me for being against Black genocide in the Sudan, because I embarrassed the president of Howard, David knows this shit's true. I wasn't supposed to finish school, not because I'm stupid, not because I couldn't pass the coursework, but I learned back in 1980, one of the things that happened to the president of Howard was that the Congress people on the education committee were demanding that Howard University, someone has a lot of noise in their background. Come on, y'all, this ain't a bodega. Somebody's like, please, don't ghetto. Look, Howard University was being pressured by the Congress in the appropriation hearings that they needed to tamp down on producing militant students and that they weren't going to continue to give money to Howard for them to produce people like Stokely Carmichael. So there's a rule at Howard not to allow people to be too Black and outspoken. Okay, so...
not to cut in, but Trump is now winning Florida, I believe.
Well, Trump is going to win Florida. The Cubans, I mean, if they can kill Kennedy, they can win Florida, okay? What I'm saying. I mean, why don't people get that?
What do you think about some of those swing states? Do you think he'll win some of those swing states?
You know what?
He might win Jersey.
The only swings that people need to worry about is when they're in one of those little love hotels. He's on the little swing where you get someone on top of you. Now that swing you should worry about. But these other states, you can't prove to me that Trump's not going to crush Biden. Biden looks like a geriatric Dracula that's lost his Grecian formula. He's boring. He needed a facelift just so you could look at him and not feel revolted. I mean, his speech is all slurred. There were winos that my mother used to wash the piss and vomit off of that are more articulate than Joe Biden, who's running to be president of this country. Even John Lewis is more articulate than Joe Biden. And that's really bad. John Lewis from Atlanta, Georgia. I remember many years ago when we were looking for our rights to be free in this country because we're American too. We's American. We grew up here. I was on the farm as a little boy. Well, I think I was a boy. I wanted to be a girl, but I ended up being a boy. I'm sorry.
Today's mentality.
No. He was around before today. He was a punk in the 60s screwing by it resting. The sissies have been hijacking the black movement since the 60s.
And it has everything onto it, whether it's gay rights, LGBTQ, and that's they tack everything onto it.
But we because we don't own it. It is so disgusting. Look, by the way, brothers, I've been talking to 2 or 3 people. I want to have at least now and then a Angry Black Men's Book Club to talk about issues of feminism and also this gender dysphoria BS, and to go into some sources of first-rate scholastic books. Not that people have to read the whole book, but if we could pick salient chapters, passages, or pages where you could have a chapter and verse, so when you come up against a pork chop feminist or a gender fluid toxic masculinity pimp, these are the kind of feminism allies, the dudes that argue, well, a woman's choice. That says if she gets 50 abortions, it's still a choice. So why would you want a woman to get 50 abortions? Because I can't take care of them. So you mean 50 deaths is justified in you being a sorry ass individual? If that's so, why isn't Hitler a nice person? He saw people die that he couldn't control. Right? This is we almost need to have an academy to teach people how to fight against pork chop feminism, to fight against weak ass black men. And I'm gonna just say this. Black men, most black men in this country are fucking weaklings on every imaginable level. Emotional, just damn. I mean, even the dick ain't strong. That's what we're using Viagra. So don't tell me how big your dick is, because niggas have diabetes. The belly is so big you can't even get your dick to stand up. I mean, that thing needs to be crooked, shaped like a question mark to get around. I mean, and probably, and if you do ejaculate, it ends up in your navel. Okay, so let's not do this. This election is an opportunity for black men to recover their manhood. It's not going to come to us. In fact, I don't care who doesn't like this. This whole election has been pathetic. I am so sick and tired of hearing of all voters being made reference to as a group: white voters, Latino voters, Asian Pacific voters, right? Latino voters, right? And then they talk about black women and black men are left out. And I'm like pissed at black women that they would allow that kind of discussion to go on. You can't go up to a group of Latino women or white women or Asian women and negotiate an alliance with them against the men in their group. It would never happen. And it's outrageous. I don't like the academy. In fact, I'm kind of glad the schools are shut down. A lot of these sellout trick niggas up in there they need to be unemployed too. They need to understand what's going on. But what I love that's happening is that I'm looking at black men. Even if Trump is ratchet in his own way, he's forcing issues, and we need it. We haven't had fathers for decades. One thing we'll say about Trump: he might be a hole, he might have a gut, he might not know what he's talking about. But you know what? He does practice patrimony for the kids that he's got. And I just want to say to y'all, I'm really excited. I have brother Ian. He's a Virginia youth young leader. Who keeps making all that damn noise in the background? Who's doing that? Someone needs to mute that out. Can I mute someone? Who's talking with the loudmouth person in the background? Yeah. Yes, thank you. I want to hear that. We're here to talk about rump. It's really cool what's happening now. Brother Ian, who is from Virginia, this guy knows that Black folks need to be more strategic. We need our own political party, and we need factions within all of the existing parties with one agenda to get us reparations and to get us some cash money because we need it. And we need to learn this quick, damn fast, in a hurry. And in addition to that, take care of what we can do here and where we can have strategic partnerships with, how can I say, enlightened people in the diaspora. Everybody in the diaspora is not a problem. We need to understand that America is like a demonic vacuum cleaner. It sucks up all the bullshit, dirt, and dust mites. So it's the most trifling, despicable people in Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and Asia that come here. Yes, they do. They do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey, how y'all doing, Brother Judah? And so the really trashy, no good Black people come to America. We don't meet the really nice. There's some really nice people in Africa. If you make friends, some real friends in Africa and other places, you got friends for life. Like anybody else here, right? We do.
So Trump won West Virginia, Indiana,
Of course.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm in Kentucky. Let me tell you, you didn't see I didn't put my video out. There were practically no Black people at the polling station. I said, so Trump's gonna win. Shit, this is an omen. It was like 2 Black people, like about 80 white people. I mean, there were just white people everywhere. This is white people's Obama vote from 2008 for all the people that are mad that there was ever a Black president. Their ass is gonna vote. It's like, get to the back of the bus. Get back in the slave ship hole. I might be old. I may have osteoporosis, but damn it, I'm white. This is my country, even if I need a walker to try to pursue your ass in the store to watch you. This is their rigor mortis. They're clinging to, white power. Hey, at least they want white power. My thing is, what the fuck do Black people want? What do we want? I mean, I'm so sick of white supremacy. Well, shit, I would just like to have Black empowerment. Everything's white supremacy. When I pick my booty, I know some say, you know what's causing the itch? That's white supremacy. That's white supremacy causing the itch. The booty itch because when we were brought over from Africa, our diets change. You see, the enzymes that you have genetically that come from eating African food, but when you come here and you eat the processed food of white people, it causes your booty to itch. So that's white supremacy. I mean, everything is white supremacy. If I have a wet dream, white supremacy caused it, even if I'm dreaming about Black pussy. That's what they'll tell me.
Everything nowadays they say it's white.
I can't stand. I can't.
Soy milk and it's full of estrogen. A white man wants to make you into a woman.
Right.
White
and you know why he wants me to have titties? Because titties have white milk inside of it. They'll come up with some really stupid thing. I can't stand the stupidity in our community. I hate stupid people. I want to live in a world segregated with no dumb Black people in it. I can deal with vicious, racist white people and others. That's fine. I just hate the preponderance of stupid people. Like, hey, y'all, have y'all heard about this thing? Y'all heard that Joe Biden screwed his daughter start when she was 5? Yes. She said, my dad, it's her diaries out. He's been screwing his daughter until she moved out. Talking about getting it off the top. It wasn't just the Chinese money he got his first. He got his daughter's cooch first before anyone else got it. That's why she's on drugs. And I think he screwed Hunter Biden. You didn't see him slobbering the dude's mouth? And the dude like, damn, I'm going to get this. I'm gonna get this. And Hunter's looking like I can't stop him. He couldn't stop when he was a kid. He can't stop him now. I believe Joe Biden molested all of his kids. I can't prove it. I believe that Joe Biden brought about or had something to do with his first wife and daughter dying. What's the scenario in my head? I think that the daughter, she told, Mommy, Daddy touched me, you know. Well, no, he didn't touch you. That's just Kool-Aid in your panties. No, Mommy, Daddy touched me. So she goes and confronts him. He said, why didn't you do it in her anus? I didn't know if it would fit there. God, Joe, how are they going to say, well, honey, why don't you take a trip to Atlantic City? And he bumped her and the daughter off. They do that. I'm come on, this some dysfunctional white power families. They will kill anybody to keep up the secret. Look, y'all know I'm telling the truth. It's true. It's true. I think, and you know that Jill Biden wasn't his wife then. He was screwing one of his supporters' wife, who was babysitting his children the night his wife and daughter died. Then you're married to her within a matter of days. Sounds like one of those 1930 movies, one of those film noir things where someone wants some new pussy.
Yeah, you had her killed, basically.
Yeah, well, I think so. Yes, I do. I can't prove it. I've been feeling this for a long time. And it's really nasty. Yeah, Brother Sean, Lindsey Brown, look, Delaware is the most fucked up place on the East Coast for Black people to live outside of Camden, New Jersey. Okay. I mean, you can go to Camden in New Jersey, maybe Trenton in New Jersey, and it's fucked up. But Delaware is like one big Black kingdom. The Black people have nothing in Delaware. And I'm not down on the people there. I'm not mad at them. I don't look at. They have been kept down so badly by the Biden machine. Joe Biden is the biggest slave-holding, racist, nasty, pervert, deviant pedophile of all times. All times. Yes, I said it. And I just have basically no respect for, especially no feminists or womanists that support Joe Biden. I want to point out to you, if you notice, when you have these people like Epstein, I mean, these serial rapists, abuser, pedophile white men, you'll never see Black women go after them. Never. Nor white women.
Yeah, there's no Oprah Winfrey going after them.
No.
The jail or something like that. But
look,
you're glad to go after Russell Simmons or something like that.
Have you ever noticed that
you know, that's not necessarily true, because they damn sure went after all the ones who Bill Clinton raped.
Yeah, but they ain't going after
hold it. Hold up. Black women did not go after Bill Clinton.
Oh, no, not Black women, it was white women.
White conservative women, white liberal women did not. The feminists did not go after Bill Clinton. And there was a case where Bill Clinton raped another 4 or 5 women. That's been kept out of the news for the last 3.5, 4 years. No. But they will. They got my cousin Bill Cosby in jail. You know he didn't rape that woman that looks like Howard Stern with the blowout kit. There's no damn way he did that. I don't believe it. I don't care. No, I can't make me believe that. And, you know, I didn't even like Bill Cosby because he dissed the rest of us until they started doing this stuff. And your blood is your blood, even when you get mad. Since I can't see them destroy my cousin like this. Shit broke me down. I had to fight for Bill's ass. You know, then I find out his wife is my mother's cousin. So I'm related to both of their asses. This is some bullshit. I hate it. I mean, in fact, we've got 3 sets of enemies, domestic enemies that we can attack as Black men. We must destroy pork chop feminism, and white lesbian, racist, radical lesbian feminism has to be run out of our communities as best we can. And the movement's already here. Brother Ian, we have an opportunity to smash the Democrats, the Republicans, and the others because of this effort that is being driven in Democratic sanctuary cities to eliminate Black males in particular by this so-called volitional, non-consensual vaccinations. They're trying to get this in DC where you don't need your parents' consent to be vaccinated. I think this is B23 171. And it was written by a little high yellow looking Vincent Gray. He looks like a Mexican farm worker with no sombrero. He was the mayor of DC, and he's written this up. You have to understand what I know from my friends that are research physicians, that the vaccine for COVID-19 has very dangerous additives that cause paralysis and possibly death. This would be a way to kill a whole lot of Black children. This is being introduced in cities all over the country. They're trying to get it up in New Jersey.
Can I interject? So
yes.
I'm in the defense industry.
Yes.
And the federal government, from what I'm saying, they're not saying this, has no way of knowing where the vaccine is coming from, as opposed to it may come from China or Russia.
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead.
And the medical community will not be able to know where it's coming from.
Well, the medical community is going to know where it comes from, but you will punish the doctors if they dare inform the public they'll be ruined or killed or lose their licenses. We're living in a situation where the Democrats and others are going to put us under the Chinese. They will control us just like the Russians used to have prisons. Anyone that disagreed with the former Soviet Union government was adjudged mentally ill, and they kept you in prisons and they kept you drugged up. What they will do in this country is have people vaccinated and have their health destroyed. It's a way of killing off, in particular, undesirable populations. People need to understand, I'm going to say this for Donald Trump. I don't care who doesn't like me. Donald Trump has brought about the closing of over 900 abortion facilities in the United States. If each of those abortion facilities only took the lives of 1,000 babies each, that's about 3 or maybe under 3 surgeries a day. That's 900,000 people who have died. If Blacks comprise of about a third of the people that get abortions in the country, that's 300,000 Black babies that aren't dead because of Donald Trump. He got my vote. I mean, it's more than abortion, but the criminal justice reform, the fact that I have Dr. J on the phone. Donald Trump tried to save 100,000 Black people's lives who've died from COVID, about that number. Somewhere between 70 to 100,000 people who died from COVID. They would have been saved had they had access to hydroxychloroquine. Donald Trump spoke up. He opened his mouth. There's not one so-called Black leader, male or female, that has opened their damn mouth and said hydroxychloroquine for the Black and other people. I want everybody, I want the brown and the yellow, everybody to have this, because we don't want the virus killing people. Instead, you've heard nothing. I'm going to explain to you why. The entire Black leadership of this country is so filthy, so degenerate, so deviant, so perverse, and so corrupted. They take money from the pharmaceutical people, and they've always supported eugenics. Always. The Black leadership in this country supports the elimination of Black people. The same John Lewis and these other people who are talking about the rights of illegals and so forth have no concern about you or me. The thing I love about Trump is he's created the kind of passion and debate in our community where we can have a civil war to get rid of the boomer boule junta that's been destroying us for the last 50 years. And so I like Donald Trump. He doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need another man to wipe my ass or brush my teeth, but I don't mind him selling me a toothbrush or letting me know where toilet paper's on sale. And to the degree that someone does that, that's all I need. So this is a great night. I'm hoping. I put up my map. I don't know if y'all saw it. I put it up on Instagram. Facebook put me off because I went after Kamala. I'm very much against the caste system in India. I have friends I care about. If I were to be super rich tomorrow, I would put my money in a couple of places. One place that I would put money would be for people who are Dalit, the people who've been getting screwed over for close to 4,000 years. So I have friends in India. I was an activist fighting for the rights of the black Indians and other folks who just catch hell from these caste bigots that were put in power by the British East India Company. Kamala is a part of them. Okay, so I said that Kamala was a lying Hindu skank. Okay, and they said that that was hate speech. Well, she's Hindu. She's a skank. She lies. That's not hate speech. It would be hate speech if I said all Hindus are liars or all Hindus are skanks. That's not true. I know plenty of fine people in all kinds of religions, but this one is not a fine Hindu. And if she was fine, whatever fineness she had, it's been wasted along the way. What's that song by the group? Um, uh, Wasted Along the Way. It's one of those groups that sang that song. I forget. It's a white boy group that used to sing Wasted on the Way. Well, that's not only Kamala Harris's good looks, but it's also her virtue. And so I really like this. The black men are breaking the yoke of political correctness. They're going to rebel. They're going to stop this vaccination thing. Hydroxychloroquine, by the way, if any of you guys don't have anything to fight COVID, hydroxychloroquine, I've been using it since the 9th of April, 2020. I'm about to get on a plane Thursday. It will be the 8th flight that I've had.
It's 7 o'clock.
And maybe 5 months. I've been in airports. I've been all over. In Kentucky, which is supposedly a COVID hotspot, I don't have mask all the time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And actually, I sag my mask. I try to put it under my big black flared nostrils because I can't breathe with the damn mask on. So I sag my mask, not my pants. I'm fine. My mother's on hydroxychloroquine. My friends and family on hydroxychloroquine. We're not getting corona. We've been lied to. Donald Trump literally tried to save tens of thousands of lives, and all he's gotten for it has been to be called a racist. Damn. I'm sorry, we're some ungrateful assholes. I wish the Congressional Black Caucus. I wish the National Congress of Black Churches. I wish the Greeks, somebody say there's a way that you don't have to worry about dying. I haven't heard anything from any so-called black leadership of any kind in this country. I have heard it from Donald Trump. If he's a racist, what the hell are these black bastards and bastardettes who said nothing this year?
They're worse than a racist. They're worse.
Traitors. And I'm just saying to you, I'm not talking about doing anything to anybody, but in my study history, when you get a leadership, elite group that allows this kind of stuff to happen to the rank and file, when the people rise up, someone like me who just has a big mouth, those folks will say, get out the way, sure. We're going to deal with these people the way we see fit. And if you try to stop us, you get the same thing. You understand? That's what happens when people rise up. And you have to get out of the way or you're going to get punishment for stuff you didn't do. This is what these people are afraid of. We've had a group, in fact, I'm telling you, everybody, if Trump wins, and I'm praying that he does, the greatest enemies that we...
More North Carolina, y'all.
Okay, good.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yes.
That's one he took from Biden right there. I think just continue down the Bible Belt state, which Biden thinks he has a stronghold on.
Biden doesn't have a stronghold on his chicken. That's why he bothers kids. He doesn't have a stronghold on anything. I'm sick of this manipulation. He's a boring, lying, washed up freak. His family is freaks. And if his grandchildren have been molested, they're freaks too, not of their own accord.
Dr. Short?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Thomas, may I speak?
Go ahead.
Very kind of you. I thank you for inviting me. I sent some things on the chat. They are very important.
Okay.
Medical articles. One of them says that the COVID spike proteins preferentially attach to or adhere to stronger ACE2 receptors on black and brown people. It was designed that way. Another article says there are more ACE2 receptors in male testicles than they ever thought. Another article says the COVID causes testicular fibrosis and impotence. That is what this COVID is really
Do you
about.
hear the people outside screaming? They're having a party. I'm sorry. Keep going, Doc. They're going crazy out here in Kentucky.
Outstanding.
Go for it. Keep talking.
When it comes to like the Asian community, how come they were affected as heavily as the African Americans?
They weren't. It's over in China.
Yeah, why is it that they're not affected as hard if the virus started over there? It
wasn't started over there. It was developed
in North Carolina. It was developed at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill by Dr. Ralph Barrick. In 2014, we've had Americans getting sick from this corona since 2014. That's why we've got so many more cases in other places in the world. This is a lie. And the Chinese actually got the coronavirus from the University of North Carolina. And the United States government, the Barack Obama administration, helped fund the creation of that Wuhan laboratory to work on the corona.
Yeah, they do many other experiments over there.
And there is more. Everything Dr. Short said is absolutely correct. And there is more. This virus preferentially spares the testicles of Ashkenazi Jews. And Ashkenazi Jews, most prominent family are the Rothschilds, the people who would benefit most from a takedown of the United States, because then we get indebted to the Federal Reserve, and our Federal Reserve is a private corporation owned by the Rothschilds.
In New Jersey, Joe Biden.
Are we already indebted to the Federal Reserve?
Yes, but our debt just increased by the entire amount we owed for the last hundreds of years.
It's already $100 trillion debt, though. I mean, when you include Social Security, Medicaid.
Yes, but we just doubled it in the last year.
But we knew it would double, though.
No. Wait, I'm not explaining myself correctly.
I'm not explaining myself
correctly. I apologize. This is being done by BlackRock and the Ashkenazi Jews who run our Federal Reserve, as well as the bad FBI and bad Mossad. That's why they're not investigating Joe Biden. They're in on this.
Right.
I apologize for not being clear. I'm going to work a little bit better on. That's why I'm not a preacher like Reverend Short. Okay. So I'm going to back off. I'm going to back off a little bit and explain myself more carefully, maybe to Reverend Short, before I take up more of your time. I apologize.
I want to say this to everyone. Dr. Thomas is one of the leaders of about 4,000 doctors that have been in communication with the White House, trying to prevent the coronavirus from killing Americans. He's risked his career and his life, and there are other people. He's a serious doctor. He's a good man, and he knows his stuff. And the doctors in America are not allowed to tell you the truth. The doctors are literally being told to stand down and let the big pharmaceutical companies sell you worthless vaccines. It's up to $4,500 a shot. And if you can't afford it, that would be justification for the government to step in and make it available, which would increase the debt. the state would subsidize you being vaccinated every year each time they want to make a new disease, patent a gain of function virus to make a disease, scare people, and force people to be vaccinated. What you need to understand, and I want to make this very clear, that there are many countries that already have ways of fighting corona. Venezuela has something. Madagascar has something. Cuba has something. And many of the countries in Africa, people asked, why did it hit Black Americans so hard? Well, Black Americans are different from Blacks in the Caribbean and in Latin America and in Africa who do not take anti-malarial medicines that help increase the T cell counts. So hydroxychloroquine is used all over Africa. It's safe enough for babies to take. You've been lied to when you've been told how dangerous hydroxychloroquine is. You can overdose on any substance, depending on what your body chemistry is. But hydroxychloroquine is safer than Tylenol. But because hydroxychloroquine has been used for decades, and on top of that, I got my hydroxychloroquine for free through Obamacare. If people had an option to sell you a $3,500 vaccination or a $4,500 vaccination, right? Versus you getting a hydroxychloroquine prescription for $40 at the most, or $26 that my mother paid, or $0 that I paid. Do you realize, and you're talking about multiply that by 330 million people. Imagine that at $3,500 per 330 million people versus 330 million people getting it for free or for $28 or for $40. Do you understand the amount of money on the table with this scam that they're running? The virus is real. The pandemic is not. The virus kills. This pandemic is not as deadly as they want you to think.
That is funny. That is funny. Huh? I'm good.
Okay, what's going on? What states?
Mitch McConnell just won Kentucky seat.
Mitch McConnell's back in. Okay. Yeah, he's going to win against that woman. Yeah, the one that looks like she's a cement mixer.
The Republicans may be able to build a super Senate, super Senate seat.
Can I share a little something I learned about COVID?
Of course, my brother. Please go.
All right, so what a lot of people don't realize is that everything, like I'm not a doctor or anything, but I took a lot of stat courses. Everything in medicine follows statistical path, right? So you know how they're saying it spreads from droplets? That's not necessarily true because the disease is ubiquitous. That's why people caught the disease while sitting in the middle of their home. It's not like electricity where you can put it in a wire, right?
Hey, David, can you mute?
So your body has to let it in. It's almost like a light switch. It's already surrounding you right now. Your body has to let it in. And from the numbers I'm seeing, that comes from increased cortisol levels.
Oh, they're saying that Biden has won Virginia. They say.
So, what raised your cortisol levels? High blood pressure, extremely high blood pressure, but mainly high blood sugar. some of which were more traditionally Democrat.
I mean, that's so a lot of people are catching coronaviruses through bad dental work.
Florida, he pulls Florida out.
They're not going to tell you that. And if you have really, really high blood sugar, you catch it that way because that's the switch that turns it on. Now, here's the problem with what I'm saying. If somebody's blood sugar is 500 or 600, they may not die, but there's a good chance they're on their way out.
Right.
So for me, the average person from the data I'm looking at does not have to worry about COVID-19. And even if they did have to worry about COVID-19, they need to worry about their diabetes first.
Mm.
And that's why people are calling it a hoax.
This is Dr. Thomas. May I clarify some things?
Sure, go ahead.
Dr. Thomas, we love you, Dr. Thomas. Please do.
Okay. I'll ask you to mute just because I can't hear.
Hey, David.
Okay.
David. Hold on. Let me see if I can mute this. Hold on one moment. 1 second. Where is?
Okay, that's all right, Dr. Short. I apologize.
I got it. It's muted.
Thank you. Now, this COVID preferentially attaches to the ACE2 receptors of Black people. It is designed that way, and it was designed that way when it was invented. It doesn't attach to Ashkenazi Jewish people. It was designed that way. If Black Americans don't protect themselves, they are going to die. And they protect themselves utilizing the following medications. Vitamin D. They have to take, every Black American has to take at least 2,000 international units of vitamin D, that's D3, in the form of D3 per day. If you're diabetic, you have an even more need for vitamin D, and you need to take 5,000 international units of vitamin D per day. Fauci said he was on it. He should be giving it to every Black American. And he should have been giving it since the beginning of this pandemic. That's vitamin D. The next thing is vitamin C. Every Black American needs to take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin vitamin C. It is a normal capsule, a daily allowance. That's the normal stuff. You don't need to take too much, but you need to take it every day. The next thing you need is zinc. Zinc is a mineral, Z-I-N-C, zinc. It's a mineral that's usually found in the multivitamins plus minerals. You need to take at least 11 to 15 milligrams a day. Not too much, just enough. Too much zinc is not too good for you. Too little zinc is not too good for you. If you don't have enough zinc, you will get ringing in your ears, loss of sense of smell and taste. That is the sign of low zinc. You must take extra zinc during the COVID. And you need to get the zinc into the cells. You need a zinc ionophore. If you go back to your chemistry class, zinc is a +2 ion. It has a little +2 on the top of the ZN that stands for zinc. You need to get it into the cells utilizing a zinc ionophore, and that is elderberry syrup. Green tea, like the Asians drink every day, that is a zinc ionophore. It contains this compound called ECGC. I don't really know what it is, but that's a zinc ionophore. There's also other medications that are zinc ionophores, which are quercetin, Quercetin. Nobody's ever heard of that. And then there is the one long-acting pill. You take one pill. It lasts. The half-life is 22 days. It lasts a month. You need to take one pill a month. And that is hydroxychloroquine. It is a zinc ionophore. Now, the other thing that these zinc ionophores do is they block the ACE2 receptors from allowing the COVID to attach to your cells. doesn't allow it to attach to your cells, so that so it can't go inside your cells and start to replicate. So sure, you get the COVID, but then your T cell immunity, your natural immunity, comes along and kills it. That's called T cell immunity. They're not checking for that. They're only testing for this PCR test, that shove it up your nose test. And that shove it up your nose test doesn't turn positive for at least 16 days until after you've been infected. And that's why you're sitting home. You say, I didn't go anywhere for the last 16 days, and all of a sudden I'm infected, because it takes 16 days, and it may take as much as 4 weeks before that virus replicates enough for you to get sick. This is a stealth virus, and it's designed to be a stealth virus, so it can infect more people before they turn positive. Now,
Can I just say something on the T cell immunity? So when I did my calculations, 84 to 86% of the population has T cell immunity.
You are brilliant. I don't know how you came up with that, but you are correct. And here's what the issue is. So who are you?
Mathematical stat.
All right, brilliant. You are correct. And here's the issue. Nobody's checking for it. And everyone has to be checked for T cell immunity before they get this vaccine. Because the vaccine will give you IgM and IgG immunity, but they will also give you these adjuvants. The adjuvants are called, get this, the matrix.
Now, Doc, and how I knew to look for cortisol levels is when I did my calculations, 70% of the people the doctors were seeing suffered from anxiety and depression. Okay?
Let me interrupt you here.
Yes.
Anxiety and depression have significantly increased with the lack of vitamin D and the lack of zinc. So if you want to treat depression, I don't care about the COVID. If you want to treat depression, you need to give everybody, including these young kids who are suffering from depression, vitamin D, which is in the milk, and they're dumping the milk. Okay.
Now we're coming.
And hang on. And you need to give the zinc, because the lack of zinc causes depression as well. So Fauci should recognize this mental health problem that's actually directly related to the COVID, because the COVID depletes you. The COVID causes depression because it depletes you of the zinc and depletes you of the vitamin D.
Now we come
full
circle.
Exactly. So who are you? You are correct. Randy, give me his phone number.
I majored in economics back in 05.
Okay. So we are simpatico. I am an MBA from the Wharton School of Business as well as an MD from the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine. We need to talk.
Definitely, yes. And the thing that they're not, I noticed you talked about T cell immunity, and the other thing they're not saying is this COVID-19 looks just like the common cold. So most people who actually had a cold are already immune to it.
Well, hang on. So let me interrupt you here, and I apologize for doing this, but my brain doesn't function. So sometimes, please don't think I'm rude. I just can't remember stuff for a long period of time. The coronaviruses, you are right, are just the common cold virus. And so when you test PCR, you'll be very careful and listen to say PCR, they're testing for coronavirus. Coronavirus is up. Sure it is, but it's the common cold. And you know what makes you more susceptible to the coronavirus? The flu shot. So as soon as you get the flu shot, you're going to have increased susceptibility by 36% for the coronavirus of any kind. And you're going to test PCR positive, and they're going to lock you up, but that's not COVID. But do you know that if you take the vitamin D, the vitamin C, the zinc, and the zinc ionophore, you won't even get the coronavirus, you won't even get the flu, and that should be the flu shot. This is the vaccine for not only COVID-19, but it's also, instead of getting the flu shot, you should be taking zinc and a zinc ionophore, which is elderberry, green tea, or once a month hydroxychloroquine. And
I'll take it a step further. So a lot of these people, because a lot of this is also tied around to diabetes and depression. So the 70% I've calculated is actually as high as 90% And part of it also is the chemical reactions in the brain from watching the news about coronavirus. These people are psyching themselves out to get sick.
I mean, there's some nocebos and placebos involved.
And I don't know about that, but I do know that there are ACE2 receptors in the brain, so that when you get the coronavirus, you get these unbearable headaches. And that's because of the ACE2 receptors in the brain.
I didn't know that.
Yes, the kidneys have ACE2 receptors, so the kidneys will be damaged. So your kidneys will be damaged by the coronavirus. Your heart tissue will be damaged because it has ACE2 receptors. Sorry.
So Doc, it's similar to someone having high blood pressure who's extremely healthy and they have an anxiety issue. If you believe a certain way, you watch TV, and you believe that the coronavirus is killing a bunch of people, that could possibly, this is why there's a psychological component no one's talking about. That could possibly get someone sick from the coronavirus.
So that's more of a placebo, nocebo type of thing. So I get it. It could be a mental thing. But I want to know, particularly between Maurice and Dr. Thomas, why is the death rate so low for COVID-19?
Because most people are immune to it. So you catch it, and 80% of the people who catch it will spontaneously recover from it without medication.
But here's the problem. You may recover from it, but your testicles are fibrotic and nobody's checking. You may recover from it, but then you get long haulers COVID, which is chronic damage to your heart. And if you recover from it and you didn't get the hydroxychloroquine, you need this medication called ivermectin. Ivermectin allows to kill the COVID, which is inside the nuclei of the cells. You won't be able to get to it without the ivermectin. Now, Dr. Short won't need the ivermectin, we hope. We hope he'll never turn IgG positive. There's IgM positive, which means you have the acute immunity. And then you have the IgG, which is the longer standing immunity. The IgG immunity means you likely just rode it by, and that means every cell in your body has been infected with the COVID, including your testicles, and you'd better get the ivermectin. So don't think you got away with it, because you may not have.
But you know, it just doesn't seem to have the same effects as like the MERS virus or SARS back in 2003.
Oh, wait, it doesn't have the acute effect, but the chronic effect on everything from your testicles to your heart is significant. You look up long haulers COVID, and you'll find these people who have, after they got it, they're like, oh my God, I'm still debilitated from it. That's the issue, this long chronic bullshit that goes on. This is a stealth virus. It was designed this way, and it's designed to chronically affect you. And that's why they're saying, have you ever heard of a disease that they say, oh, just stay home and let it run its course through you? Hell no. They should be giving anybody who gets diagnosed PCR positive at least vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and elderberry. But you're not even allowed to do that.
When I looked at a couple of journals, the rest of the world was basically just using IV bags of vitamin C to treat people.
Yes, and you could do that, and I apologize. I've never had to, because I get them the hydroxychloroquine early, and they recover.
Okay.
Sure, because I don't have an IV set up, but I certainly can tell them to walk to a pharmacy and get some hydroxychloroquine.
Oh,
you see?
Okay.
Otherwise, I have to go get an IV bag? Okay, God bless you, go find it.
6 in one hand, half a dozen in another.
Well, no, it's not. It's a pill versus running around trying to get an IV started. Gotcha. Okay.
And getting a bag of solution and all this bullshit when all you need is a handful of pills, but you got to not take too many of them. You get 30 pills of hydroxychloroquine, it's going to last you a year. Don't take them all in 1 week.
Okay. But
Dr. Short, tell me if I'm speaking too much. I talk too much.
No, you're
Dr. Thomas, please continue to talk.
you're answering questions. I'm very interested in people learning. That's most important to me. And in particular, what I'm concerned, I'll say this and stop. They've made Trump the face of COVID and blamed this man for a disease that the Obama administration allowed to be made, which is despicable.
Trump's winning Michigan, by the way.
Who?
He's winning Michigan.
Yeah, he's gone. You heard he let Kwame Kirkpatrick go. They're dead. He's going to kill them if this keeps up.
America just seems so dumb at times. Like, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to realize Trump didn't cause COVID? Trump didn't cause, the issues of racism and things like that. Trump didn't cause a terrible economy. The Democrats did all this. It was like they wanted COVID to run this economy to the ground for their purpose and their agenda.
Well, here's the other crazy thing I'm saying. The mask will actually make people sicker.
People don't even have to wash their masks.
But humans aren't designed
It's
to walk around with masks
7:30.
on like that.
I agree.
It makes me feel crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and you got these silly black women who yell at people for not wearing masks. And I look at them like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. I just want to give you an update. The Klan News Network, CNN, has given Trump Tennessee. So right now, Biden has Vermont, Massachusetts, Maryland, Delaware, and D.C. Trump has Oklahoma, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee.
He also damn near has Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida.
Damn.
What's the count? That's huge. What's the count?
The count ain't accurate, but I'm looking at this map, bro. Let me
No, I'm talking about the electoral votes.
They're saying it's 85 to 55.
They haven't counted North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Missouri, and Michigan yet. Also Maine.
Do you see Biden doing an Al Gore like in 2000?
Al Gore was smarter than he was. He's too dumb to do it. He probably doesn't remember who Al Gore is. He doesn't know who he is. He thinks his wife is his sister and his sister's his wife. What if he thought the button box was like an Xbox? We'd have like the whole world blown up because he doesn't know who he is. It's insane.
Right.
Now, they're trying to cheat and say Biden's winning Texas. Biden cannot win Texas. Just ignore that.
Well, I'm looking at this one thing. They're holding it up, but it looks as if they're giving Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina as well to Trump. And it looks like North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Michigan. Oh, wait a minute. They're saying that Maine may be with Trump.
Because of the oil industry. But yeah, Biden's not winning Kansas City and Texas. This thing is over with.
What I want to tell you for Florida is they've given Trump almost 51% of the votes. 88% of them are reported.
Right.
Yeah, Florida's done.
Florida's done. That was the one that Biden was really hoping on, Florida and Texas. I knew he had no chance of winning the Bible Belt state. I mean, during his primary, yeah, because that was Biden's stronghold during his primary with the Bible Belt state. But those are actually Republican-held territories, and they're pretty good for able to capture those from Trump. The actual presidential election.
I feel like doing a right-wing commercial. Come to the Florida Sunshine Tree.
I said in the beginning that whoever won this was going to need 2 out of the 3. Florida, Pennsylvania, and Ohio.
Well, you didn't see the black folks rioting in Walmart. I mean, and they weren't hungry because they weren't stealing food. That's not going to, I mean, Trump's going to get Ohio. I mean, he's going to get Pennsylvania and Ohio off of the looting in Philly. That's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And
The bottom line is the Democrats didn't have anything after Obama, and they still don't.
well, Obama wasn't anything. And he can't get anybody to vote. The only thing that Obama can get people to do is buy Preparation H and suppositories. That's what he's good for.
And to give you free cell phone service when you need it.
Well, a cell phone, a lot of people use cell phones as sex toys. That's probably why he gave them to people. You can poke yourself with it.
They're gonna blame this on black men,
Yeah.
and I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, all black men didn't go out
Black
there.
men, weakest link, misogynistic, patriarchal, When in doubt, blame the black man.
Well, let me share with you how you answer it. When they call you misogynist, you need to say, a proud one. That will end the conversation.
So this is a question for everyone. Do you think there will be any rioting if Biden loses?
I hope so. And I hope they get their butts kicked.
Because I heard a lot of the Proud Boys are ready for a rioting that may go on.
But I know
I don't think it's going to be regular people. I think it's going to be instigators and agitators.
The Proud Boys, I know one of them.
I agree. Regular people too busy going to their jobs, like me. I'm getting ready to leave out the house, go to work now. Regular people ain't worried about that shit. That's paid agitators.
Right. And trained Marxists. Like this black lesbians matter. We're tired of this stuff. I'm not interested in that stuff.
The Democrats got nobody to blame but themselves.
Well, to me, it's so nice to be the center of attention as black men. We need to enjoy this. I hope they do blame us.
Amen.
The more they blame us, the more we can demand from both parties. I love it. This is great. Now, I was going to say our greatest enemies will be Republicans, black Republican sellouts who aren't fighting to make certain that black people get their share. That's the new enemy. I'm just telling y'all.
So you're saying you don't like Larry Elder?
Hmm?
You're saying you don't like Larry Elder?
Larry Elder's not who I'm talking about. Larry Elder is a conservative personality. He's entitled to his opinion, and sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't. But it's not Larry Elder. When I say Republicans, these are black political folks on the Republican side that are more interested in just helping themselves, friends, and family than looking out for very serious issues that exist in the black community. I don't like.
Do you think Max Steele was one? at one point?
Steele. Let me share with you, Michael Steele.
I thought they did Steele dirty, in my opinion.
Well, Steele did black Republicans dirty before the whites did him dirty. This happens to you when you don't have a crew. Michael Steele trusted white folks with the party credit card. They knew he would do it. He wouldn't even give black folks T-shirts and signs, hats. Let me tell you about Republicans, because I was on the call today. And someone I know who's a serious Republican activist, they were never given signs, shirts, hats. They're not even given the means to campaign in black areas by black Republicans in DC who don't want a grassroots movement, because if you talk to black folks, their issues are the same as anyone. We want food, shelter, jobs, healthcare, good education for our kids, opportunities. These people don't want to deliver a damn thing to black people. And they want to appease a racist type of Republican and Democrat who doesn't want to give anything to black folks. They didn't give us anything when we were enslaved. So they don't have a policy. Let me tell you something about some Republicans. I'm not talking about what I think. When Trump won in 2016, I reached out to black Republicans and says, look, we've got a conservative, pro-Christian Republican candidate. We got it. Let's put together something for black Americans and give it a contract with Black America, with Trump, and have these things that we need to have. You know, those people ran from me. They wouldn't speak. They ducked me. In other words, something for nothing on the right. It's just as wicked and depraved as something for nothing on the left. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Democrats give nothing, and Republicans give nothing. It's unacceptable. I'm just saying this to you. And Trump would have done a lot more had he gotten the request. Had there been people who were close to him who are more interested in delivering something to a constituency than rubbing asses with people of other ethnic groups. Do that on your own time. Don't call yourself my damn leader and the folks in Flint are poison, or the folks in DC are homeless, or whatever it is. This is what happens. So trust me, when I ask folks, let's do something, nothing radical, safe drinking water, they won't do it. And I'll tell you, the only thing those folks will understand is when you throw bricks and bottles at them like they did the cops in Philly. If people threw bricks and bottles at these folks, they would stop wanting to call themselves black leaders, which they are not. They're opportunists on the right. I need people who care about healthcare. You know what? These Republicans would not support Dr. Thomas here. All he did was ask, hey, look, we're the doctors, vouch for us, black ministers, that your people should be saved. They wouldn't sign their names. They'd rather we die than them be seen as controversial. Someone white won't like me. I don't give a damn. If I sat down my whole life worrying about who didn't like me, I'd be dead. These folks aren't leadership. They're lechers. Okay? We've been trying to get money. There are billions of dollars that the government, by the way, a predominantly Republican Congress allocated money to relieve black poor. Black Democrats and white Democrats have given this money to illegals and to everybody, but to the black people it was meant for over 50 years. Why can't, it's not theirs. Their power is derived from us being prostrate and held down. They're just as bad. In fact, they're worse than the Klan, the Nazis. Look, I wish we had some proud boys and girls. And I don't have any respect for anyone black that calls himself a leader. Adam Clayton Powell could screw everybody's wife, go on junkets and drink, and get legislation passed that improved the lives of black people. One man, whoring, drinking, gambling, traveling, showboating, junketing, and 55 of them can't deliver what one man could do. I don't care how many of them are drag queens, trans, cocaine addicts. Damn it, deliver something or get the hell out of our lives. We're the only people that tolerate scum, you know, being in leadership.
Yes.
I'm sick of scum. I'm sick of religious scum, entertainment, sports, and celebrity scum. I'm sick of right or left scum, communist scum, Wicca, Marxist, Black Lives Matter scum. I don't like any of it. A pork chop feminist scum, Lizzo and Cardi B and Stallion. I don't like scum. It shouldn't represent me. Or Lil Wayne, the only thing he's done in his life I agree with other than killing himself, which he's tried, was when he endorsed Trump. I can't believe it. I'm agreeing with Lil Wayne on something.
Who props these people up? That's the question.
Well, sometimes they're boyfriends, depending on what position they're in.
Whose idea was it that dumbass Cardi B is talking to Sanders and Biden in the first place?
Come along.
And right, and this is on the one my question. Who's coming up with these ideas? Exactly.
Simone Sanders, Cedric Richmond.
Thank you.
I should say Cedric Bitchman.
Thank you. So now we have Cardi B talking to Biden, and then it's promoting her music, which is degrading our women. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. It's promoting that music, which degrades our women. So this is what the Democrats want. They just want to degrade us as a society. Tear us down.
You know, Biden thinks WAP stands for wet ass pedophile. That's why he was talking to her.
Because we're fucking stupid, according to these people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk to us like grown adults and talk about politics. You have to spin everything into a bunch of hip hop mumbo jumbo, street jive, because that's the only way stupid niggas gonna understand anything. So let's get Killer Mike and Cardi B and all these motherfuckers.
Killer Mike looks like a diabetes commercial. You know, I feel like singing "Oh Simpa" every time I see him. Oh Simpa, right? Whenever I see him, I'm sorry. That's just what I think. But what's happening now? The polls. What time is it? It's
8:40, so we should have some more states closing in about the next 20 minutes.
By the way, did you guys see the email message that I sent out to many people about the Boule endorsing Joe Biden? These black trader elites, the ones who benefit from everything, said, you don't have to give us anything. We support you. We have to rebel against the Boule. The only time that black people have made any advancement in the last 80 years was when they were in rebellion against the Boule and white supremacy. You have to be against both. Be careful of anyone that's always talking about unity. As I always say to people, the only thing that wants to be united with shit is a fly, and I don't have wings.
You know, like today, it kind of hurt me. It's funny you say that. The Boule went after Booker T. Washington real hard.
They assassinated Booker T. He was killed. And the Boule let Medgar Evers be killed. They tried to get what's his name? Wow, he's from North Carolina. Robert Williams. The Boule has also told the government it was okay if they killed Dr. King. Sure, they did.
The Boule has also gone after Malcolm X recently.
Yeah.
Remember, like a year or so ago?
Oh no! There's a book.
Tried to make him gay.
No, they've been trying to make him gay for many years. The first book was by Perry that came out in the 90s, over 25 years. It's to fagotize Malcolm X. Perry had a book called Malcolm X, and it talks about Malcolm X putting powder on a naked white man. I have a book in storage. Now, I want to say to you, there's another Malcolm X book that's called Arising. And again, it is making Malcolm X cheap and stupid. They're back at it. My uncle was Malcolm X's secretary, and I called to ask him. I says, I didn't see your name in the book, so this book ain't shit. Please confirm for me. And he told me that the niggas a sellout. He died 2 years before the book was completed, and his daughter, who looks like she's like she works at a stripper bar for homeless people, she finished the book. So they're trying to destroy Stokely Carmichael, like you saw Bill Clinton, who's a player hater. It's interesting that you get all these pedophile men that criticize type A black men. And Mark Lamont Hill was the one who put out that Malcolm X was gay.
Oh, I hate that bastard.
Well,
He's a short sight if I ever see him.
well,
I mean that shit with every ounce of my fucking being. If I ever saw Mark Lamont Hill in person, I'm swinging on his bitch ass.
well, he might.
He's a fucking sellout traitor,
Mhm.
punk ass nigga.
Mhm.
Who is another one of these delusional ass black people talking about Israel and Palestine and shit.
Well, what you have to
When
give.
black people catching hell in America.
Well, you have to
He
understand.
want to distract you with fairy tales about fucking Palestine and shit. No, he makes me fucking sick.
Okay, why is he talking about Palestine? He probably has an Arab boyfriend, light skin, long hair. It's been there, done that. That's what this is about. Okay, let's just be honest. A whole lot of folks get in these movements, like white people join the civil rights movement. They want to screw black folks. They're willing to go out and get beat up at a demonstration as long as they could get some action after the protest was over. Goes both ways. Okay, so he's basically an affirmative action human rights swirler, or should I say, will protest for sex, will be a human rights advocate for BJ. Okay, that's what happens. This is what this is. I mean, we can be honest about it. And roll over Martin. There's something wrong with that man. I mean, when you look like a black Betty Boop with the 5 o'clock shadow, there's a problem. Okay. And he does look like Betty Boop. If
Only thing wrong with Roland Martin is he's not good at his fucking job. Never was.
Well, his job has been to hold us down. He's good at that. Roland Martin, again, looks like an Afrocentric Betty Boop with those little Superman curls and all with the receding hairline. You need to give that up. Get a toupee or just be bald-headed, although you have an ugly shaped head. And it doesn't help that you wear those ascot ties that looks like you've got turkey neck too. Just stop it. Stop it. Be a producer off camera. People don't like looking at you. And when you have like the crackhead beggar type on air voice, right, man, that's my rock. That's my rock. No, that's my style, right? Nobody wants to hear that. He is the Boule mouthpiece, and maybe a side piece for the Boule too. We'll find out. It'll come out. And he was cheering for Kamala. So yeah. By the way, my sources tell me in Missouri, the East Indian community came out and told people not to vote for Kamala, that they weren't supporting her, and that Kamala was an embarrassment to the East Asian community, and they'd appreciate if she'd stop identifying with them. Yeah, I didn't know that one.
I pay very little attention to the war anyway, so it really don't matter.
Well, I think she's a prostitute. Whores do it for free. She's gone a long way on her back. That's what a prostitute or call girl does. I have to give her credit. That's the best thing that she's ever done.
It's funny how they haven't called Pennsylvania yet.
They're going to hold these. They want Biden to win.
So even though they don't know Trump won, because they're trying to show Texas blue. Huh. And they still won't call Florida and Georgia. Trump already won them. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, they definitely know Trump won Florida.
What we have to have is a force to make certain that everything that can work for us does. That's the political, it's the social, and we need to find places in which it works. You know, I know folks have issues with Jews. I just want to say, so if you hate Jews, I got a significant Jewish ancestry, so you hate my ass too, and ditto back to whatever you think about me. Well, me having said that, okay, okay, if you hate Jews, you probably hate me too, and it's just another thing that I don't give a damn about what people think. And that probably is why I'm such a nonconformist. So this damn not matzo ball nonconformity and shit is out of me. It just makes I don't go along with what people think. You know how Jews always disrupt stuff. They get it to go the way they want it to. That's cool. We need to learn how to do the same things. Stop disliking people for how they make stuff work for them and make it work for you. Stop player hating Jews and learn how to be players for black people. And by the way, Mark Lamont Hill, I'm gonna just say this about there's a lot of black folks that get off into this intersectionality with other people, and they need to understand. I've done much of this myself, been involved with people in other countries, advocated, but you know what? You got to take care of home. 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 I'm serious, and the time is now to begin to look, to come to us as, just on a now that I've used all this foul language, I want to say something far more serious, and that is the scriptures talk about, I believe in Luke, the whole purpose of the coming of the Messiah was to get men, it didn't say women, men to care about their children, to turn the hearts of men to their children, for black men to start giving a damn about the kids, our future, our progeny, our destiny. What's going to make us give a damn? And if you look at what the Messiah did, he spent most of his time trying to get a handful of brothers to stop being bitchy towards one another. Black men have a toxic masculine bitch syndrome where we're always at each other's throats over really jive, insignificant things. We compete and harry and harass and are jealous and envious of one another. And my rival, my competition is nobody in my ethnic group. They're Chinese, they're Syrian, right? They're Lebanese. That's my competition. And we have to grow out of this cattiness. I will tell anyone, the greatest bitches in our community that I see haven't had penises. I would like for black men to stop being bitches and be men. And man doesn't mean you have to be 9 feet tall, 9 feet tall and be a 15-letter athlete, but stand on principles of things that are true and is right. And we need to get into that. And let me see. I'm going to stop here. It's almost 9 o'clock where you guys are. Where is anybody saying anything? Has anything been called yet?
They officially called Florida for Trump.
Okay, cool.
I would like to say something if I have a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Okay. I think it was very interesting what we heard about COVID-19 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I don't understand why we don't have those things like Trump in the media or in the social media.
Well, it's that. Let me answer it for you. The social media people are funded by the pharmaceutical people, as are the media. So I put up a joke on COVID, got put off for 30 years, and I didn't even criticize COVID or the virus. I used an analogy, and it was violating community standards. Your biggest advertising purchasers are pharmaceutical corporations. Your largest contributors to politicians are pharmaceutical people. Therefore, if these people have everyone on the hook for the money that they've given, The information that the good doctor gave you, who he's willing to give for free, he can't compete with folks who have trillions of dollars to gain. And let me just make this even more simple for you. It costs up to 10, 12, 20 trillion dollars to develop a global drug brand name that you can sell. The problem is increasingly there's side effects that damage and hurt people. So by the time they get that drug marketable, after they've invested the money in marketing, development, research, testing, approval, licenses, bribes paid to officials, they get it to the market, and then you and I take it and it makes one of our testicles fall off. And some enterprising lawyer, who's probably Jewish, all these people, begin suing the company, and they get tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars off of these people because of the side effects. So the only way that the pharmaceutical companies can make real money and reduce their liability is to sell vaccinations, which do not have to cure, treat, or work. And the maximum amount of money that they can pay out if they damage you is $250,000. And I can just assure you, like brother can tell you in Baltimore, if you and I got damaged, we wouldn't get the $250,000. The lawyers would get it, which means, and if the lawyers are paid off by the companies, right?
And that's what happened with the lead paint.
Right. So that's what happened in Baltimore. So as a result, the vaccines are a way to guarantee that the pharmaceutical companies make money. They will kill you. They kill naturopathic doctors. They're being killed all over the planet. People have to be silent. These folks are basically kingdoms unto themselves. They have killed thousands of people. My uncle, the most prolific black musician, percussionist of the last century, died because of Vioxx. They knew that they were killing U.S. soldiers through the VA with Vioxx. They watched to see how it killed. They perfected it, but they destroyed the other people. This is how they do business. They're not going to put that on television, because if you explain this to folks, especially explain it to your white public, because white people know their rights, these folks will go into a pharmaceutical place and start shooting people. They won't talk to them. They won't cry and plead and try to have an understanding, a kumbaya moment. White folk will come in and they'll blow your kid. They'll shoot your bunny rabbit. They'll piss in your aquarium, put cyanide in there. They're mad. That's them. So they understand. That's why they want to de-arm the public. In order for them to rob or do certain things, you have to keep a certain group of people stupid, disarm them, because if they ever found out, they're not like black folks who can forgive white mass killers who shoot people up in churches before the bodies are cold. That's not white folk.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not going to be. It's not going to be on television. It's too much money. They own everyone. And I can say this to you, having done a battle with one of the largest companies is Pfizer. When we were exposing that they deliberately are distributing a drug that contributes to black women and others contracting HIV and AIDS in the millions, there wasn't one black elected official. There wasn't one major, no one would, they don't want anything to do with you. Just forget about it. That's how bad it is. And so, and whatever country, Jamaica, Trinidad, the World Health Organization, the UN, and other people to get these monies agree to let their people be murdered by Western white pharmaceutical corporations for kickbacks. That's what goes on. The new slavery is they don't need you to get rubber or coffee or tea. They need to be able to experiment and play with your blood, your organs, your bodies, and test you. That's the new sharecropping.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm gonna do my best to let people know.
Well, yeah, and there's a place for. I need to tell you, frontlinemds.com. You can get hydroxychloroquine. Frontline, FRONTLINE, MDS.com. They have a COVID tab. You can get hydroxy for as much as 40 or less, but you'd have to do telemedicine. This is a fraud. So a doctor has to look at you and then they give you a prescription. That's the only way they'll let the doctors give you hydroxy is they have to scam you to give it to you.
Uh-huh. And do you know what Mr. Trump took to get out of the?
They gave him hydroxychloroquine, but they won't tell you. Okay, and there's something else they did right after Trump came out. You can Google it. The drug that they were supposed to have given him, called remdesivir, has been proven not to work. Even it doesn't work. So if it didn't work, what treated Trump?
Yeah, but he came so fast out of this.
Yeah, because hydroxychloroquine works. I was sitting here several months ago in Kentucky. The former congressman of Washington, D.C., his brother's name Raymond Fauntroy, he was in the hospital dying in Miami. And thanks to Dr. Thomas and thanks to Ray Fauntroy's son listening to me, I'm a stranger to him, although I knew his father and his brothers. I let him meet Dr. Thomas, and we were able to get hydroxychloroquine. And Ray, who's in his 80s, has fully recovered. Hydroxy works. This is the reason that people in Haiti and a range of other places are not dying from corona. They take hydroxy for malaria, which means that they have the immunity to it. These racists, when they made this thing, they know it's something. If you're going to hate someone, study them well enough to do them in. These people are so stupid in their hatred. They didn't even factor in that if people live in areas where there's malaria, they're likely to take hydroxy or something that builds up T cell immunity to deal with malaria. So on top of that, they made one other mistake, and that is this corona is more deadly to people with Neanderthal DNA, which isn't us. So it's really beating the hell out of people in Europe. The scriptures are plain. You dig a ditch for someone else to fall in. You're the one that falls into it. It's 9:00. Roll call. What states? Who has it? Who can do it? Because I don't have cable out here. Anybody?
No, I'm not near TV right now. I don't know anything.
Hold on, let me check. I know I'm looking at CNN. I'm gonna go to Fox in a minute. Fox has gotten soft. They're so scared. They hate Trump now. I mean, we need at least one group. Battleground. Who are they gonna give it for? They haven't changed it. CNN is doing the same thing they did last time. They're gonna try to wait until like 1 a.m. They want this thing to drag. Let me see what Fox says.
I think Biden's going to drag this shit out like Gore did back in 2000.
Well, Gore actually won, but Gore and them did that to themselves. They had that lesbian running their campaign. I confronted Donna Brazile at the vice president's house of the Naval Observatory, and I said to her, sister, you know about voter suppression. You know that they don't let black men vote. Why weren't you fighting for black folks to have access to the ballot?
Well, brothers, you can do Google election results. They actually have it up. And Biden's up 119 to 91 on the race to 270. Trump has North Dakota, South Dakota. These states don't even matter.
No, they do. They've got electoral votes.
We're like 3.
Every little.
They don't have that big of a population. Trump holds a lot of the Midwest. Republicans hold a lot of the Midwest. A lot of the Midwestern states, especially Northwestern states, they can win. Even Montana, they don't have big populations. I mean, Fairfax County has a bigger population than those states.
That's true. That's true. Now, so this is what I see here: Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas.
Be stronger than a California vote.
They're holding North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Ohio.
Yeah, and they're holding Texas
What's up, Fred?
as well.
How's your days off?
Mm. They haven't given Florida, but
Or Georgia.
wait a minute. Oh my God! Let me tell you what they have. With 51% for Trump in Florida, and Georgia right now it's 56% for Trump.
More likely that he'll win those. That's big, especially Florida.
I called Florida for Trump last year. I said Biden would get Pennsylvania.
They're making it seem like Texas is leaning blue.
I believe it when I see it.
Me too.
Oh my God!
I don't buy it.
They're giving 57% of Michigan is for Trump right now.
Yeah, that's like it's leaning towards Trump. Maine as well. I don't think Biden will win any states out west. I think Trump will win Nevada. Arizona could possibly be tossed out. But I think more like it might be Trump. California, we know that's Biden territory. But it's Kamala. Oregon, probably Trump. Maybe Washington, maybe Biden. Montana, probably Trump.
Okay, y'all. Hey, somebody, hold on. I'm gonna look out here. Let's see what's going on. We streaming. Let me change this.
Texas is a very, very close race. Biden has a 0.5 of a margin of a lead at 49.6 versus Trump 49.1.
Hmm.
It's a tight margin in Texas.